Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Jenna-Louise, and with this video I'll be discussing some brief thoughts on Doctor Who Series 7, Episode 12, Nightmare in Silver, the big return of the Cybermen as penned by Neil Gaiman. And I thought this was an enjoyable episode with some really interesting aspects, newly added stuff to the mythos of the Cybermen, which I absolutely loved, and I hope we get to see more of this version of them, this incarnation of the Cybermen. We have that little hint toward the end, spoiler, that basically hints at maybe, having these Cybermen return at some point because they can just upgrade. That's the whole gist of these new Cybermen. Loved the new voice, by the way. Loved the aspects that we saw from the get-go. We see a Cyberman moving at almost super speed, like, DC Comics characters, The Flash or Superman, which I thought was interesting, and unless I missed it in the dialogue, I had to wonder why we didn't see this continuing throughout the episode. They pretty much probably would have owned the Doctor and everything by the end of it if they had kept that up. But I did think it was interesting. We see a Cyberman fake out one of the human soldiers by having removed its head and putting it on like a box, and then coming up behind them. That was mad clever. I just love those aspects. I love that we have cybermites instead of cybernets because, of course, it's almost commentary on technology. Everything's getting smaller. You go back to the 90s with the first cell phones being, these huge hulking boxes, and now we got smartphones that are tiny, that are even smaller than our wallets, I love that commentary, and I love just that whole mythos about it. Now, I did feel a little, sort of not fulfilled in that we didn't see the Cybermen as much as I hoped we would. We spent a little more time with the human quotient, if you will, the soldiers of this empire. And for me, I didn't really connect with any of them, so it was kind of like, every time they were on screen, when are we going to get them off screen? Unless, of course, Clara was barking orders at them, which I thought was pretty cool. She definitely stood up in this episode, and I think it was fueled by her being a nanny, caregiver for these children. And now that, their lives were at stake or whatever, even though she didn't necessarily know that. But the fact that their lives could have been at stake, as far as she was aware, she was, matronly and leadership role. That's basically what she fulfilled in this episode, which I thought was really cool. Now, the twist that came toward the end with the guest star Warwick Davis, I thought was really, really cool. It was a nice touch, sort of harkened back to Star Trek, the original series episode, Plato's Stepchildren. If anyone's ever seen that, you'll know what I'm talking about. I really thought that was cool. I thought it was interesting, this little thing with the Doctor basically dueling with these two personalities, although I think it was a little more complex than I would have, had a taste for, but I love that chess was involved. I've always been a fan of playing chess, just for fun, not competition or anything like that. And the strategy, I thought the strategizing of the Cybermen, of the Doctor, there was a lot of emphasis on strategy in this episode, and I just loved that aspect of it. I loved this episode more than I disliked it. I just wish we would have seen the Cybermen a little bit more and had a little less time with these human soldiers and stuff like that, but by the end, I enjoyed the hell out of it, and I can't wait to see what's coming next time. Looks like big doings. And yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what you thought of Nightmare in Silver if you've seen it. And otherwise, that'll be it from me. So, does the Doctor really love Clara? Peace.